the limits. I want to start with basics. Let's say for an example, let me see. Okay, let's say for an example, we have to determine the limit of a function when x approaches, let's say, can I use 9? Let me use 3. If x approaches 3, let's hope the 3 is visible. It's not visible. Let me do this. So limit when x approaches 3. For a function, let's say we have x squared minus 9 over x minus 3. So we need to determine the limit of the function. Therefore, there's something that we need to understand about limits. What are limits? So when you talk about limits, we're talking about, let's say, with types of functions. There's where the functions are determined. So sorry to them. So what are limits as I wanted to say? So limits for certain functions they have a boundary, or let's say we have, what is it, a symmetrical asymptote, we can say. If you can look into rectangular hyperbola, at some point when you put in your calculator and say, let's say 0, not 0, 2 over 0, it says undefined. So which means at 0, which means the function is not defined. So we're trying to determine at which value exactly for y where the function is not defined, or x value to say. So beyond at this value, is it still defined, or beyond this value, the function won't be defined. And when we say it's not defined, which means the function discontinues. And if it discontinues, surely you'll have to plot in another case. So, but in that example that I was making, let's say for an example, a rectangular hyperbola, I hope you see there. The function, by all means, it won't touch the x-axis or the y-axis. Don't touch the x-axis or the y-axis. It will continue to infinity. So at 0, it is not defined. It bends or tends towards that value. It gives a certain curve. And the function discontinues. So hence we say this value at 0 is not defined. And it discontinues, and we plot in another axis. Let's say we plot in that axis. So it discontinued from there, we have to plot in another section. So we talk about those type of functions to try and define if they are defined or not defined at certain values. So as now when we try and look into this function, when we try and do direct substitutions, I hope you see that you're going to have 9, therefore 3 minus 3, because 3 squared is 9 in the numerator. I hope you see we have an indeterminate form 0 over 0. So it's 9 minus 9. So that is error. Even when you punch it in your calculator, it says error. So we need to try and define the function. So defining the function, it's asymptote at which point it will tend to infinity. Because this error sometimes represent an infinity. So we have an indeterminate form there. So we try and do the simplification. So we'll have x approaches 3. Now, which method can we use to simplify? We see we have algebraic functions. I see in the numerator the factorization that I can do. I should difference of 2 squares. So I have x minus 3 and x plus 3, all divided by x minus 3. So I've used the method of factorization because we have what we call algebraic function in the numerator. So now we can divide x minus 3 with x minus 3. And from there, simplifying further, limit x approaches 3, we are left with x plus 3. At least now it has given us a linear function. At least a linear function is defined in all, not all, yeah, but if you say x is 0, you will have the value. So if we have simplified, it has given us a linear function. So we have 3 plus 3 there when we substitute. Therefore, the limit of the function, it is 6. which means when x approaches 3, the function at 6, it is still defined. Beyond that, we'll have an undefined. We'll have an undefined. So sometimes we do try and check when x approaches 3. But if we were trying to find the y value and substitute and find beyond 6, what will be the value of x where the function is not defined? So that is the limit of the function at 6. The limit of the function is 6. So I hope it's clear how we do apply a limit. So we have a case where we substitute where, let's say, x approaches infinity. Let's say where a case where x approaches infinity. So we have three conditions. We have three conditions. We have three conditions. We have three conditions. So with the first condition, where x approaches infinity, let me start with this one. Let's say the coefficients, not the coefficients, the exps, the degree of exponents in the numerator and both in the denominator are equal. If they are both equal, the degree of exp. So the dot there, just know that I'm representing the degree of exponent. The degree of exponent in the numerator and denominator, they are both equal. The solution that we're going to get, it will be the coefficients. The answer, it is the coefficients. Okay, that one I'll put it in words because I'll say it via my mouth. I won't write it down. So the answer that you'll get, it will be the coefficients of the highest exps or the equal degree of exponent. So this is what I mean. Let's say, for example, we have limit x approaches infinity. Let's say we have x cubed minus 3x squared plus 1, all divided by 2x minus 3x cubed. Now we need to find the limit of the function when x approaches infinity. When x approaches infinity. But there's a note that I want to put. There's a note that I want to put. Let me put this here. There's a note that I want to put. So something that you need to recall about infinity. About infinity. So normally I do it like this. I ask the question, what is 2 divided, let's say, by 100? In decimals, what is 2 divided by 100? 0.02, right? If we say 2 maybe divided by, let's say, 100,000. So what is 2 divided by 100,000? Let's see, how many zeros are we going to have? After the comma, how many? If it's 100,000, so 4, 0.02. So we have 0.0002. So I hope you see what is happening. The more I divide, in fact, I can even say 1 million. Let me do this. Let's say we divide by 1 million. Let's say divide 2 by 1 million. So we're going to have 0.000002. So I hope you see what is happening in the trend. The more we're dividing 2 by a bigger number, the further away we're having, let's say, a real, let's say a number, we're having 0 until a number. So I want you to see that the more we divide a smaller number by a bigger number, we're getting more decimals of 0. Let's say, for example, say round off this answer into 2 decimals. So into 2 decimals, what do we get? a round of 0.00002 into 2 decimals. It's approximately 0.00, isn't it? Into 2 decimals. So 0.00, which is approximately what? 0. So please note that when you divide a smaller number by a bigger number, it is approximately 0. So this is the case even when you're seeing infinity. I hope you recall with the previous one when I was trying to put a graph. We know at this point that the graph will continue to infinity. What is an infinity? We're representing a bigger number, isn't it? Let's hope he's searching maths. Are you searching maths? She's searching maths too. What are you searching? Hmm? You're in shop. Oh, hey, I don't like cell phones in class. You see, they're answering 0 and you didn't hear that. Okay, so let's continue. So I hope you see in all problems, when you see infinity, this bigger number. Let me do this. Let me represent that million with an infinity. Just know that when you divide a smaller number by a bigger number, it's approximately what? 0. So as I said, we've done divergence. So divergence, yeah. It's approximately 0. Because I know in integration, you will even meet this when you're substituting, call that what? Definite integrals and definite integrals. So please recall that. So we're going to do the same thing here. The method that we're going to use of simplifying it, because we have to substitute infinity. We want to try and express everything in fraction form, smaller number and having a bigger number, or x in the denominator, because x will substitute infinity. So we must have x in the denominator. We must make sure to have x in the denominator. We must divide by the highest x factor that consists of the highest exponent to say. So in the numerator, what is the highest exponent that we're having there? It's 3, right? So x is carrying the highest exponent in the denominator, which is 3. So we're going to divide numerator and denominator using x to the power of 3. That is the highest factor of x. Or sometimes we can say take out the common factor of x to the power of 3. That's another way to say it. So I'm going to say limit x approaches infinity. Let's divide x cubed by x cubed. It's 1, isn't it? So what we're doing, we're saying x cubed divided by x cubed. So the answer is equals to 1. Do the same thing. Divide x squared by x cubed. I hope you see that you have negative 3 over x. Because the highest power is in the denominator when you divide. X squared is eliminated. Even the denominator we're left with 1x. So we'll be left with negative 3 over x. We're taking out the common factor of x cubed there. So we even divide 1 by x cubed. So we're going to have 1 over x cubed. We move on, we simplify the denominator. Like we do the same thing, we say negative 2x divided by x cubed. So negative 2x. Why did I say negative? So 2x divided by x cubed. Because we said we divide by the highest power, the highest factor that consists of the highest power. So we'll have 2 over x squared. So we divide negative 3x cubed by x cubed. We're left with negative 3. So we divided by x cubed. Now, in that case, if we have divided, we don't see the x, maybe in the factors in the numerators, at least we have divided by the highest variable that consists of the highest power. Now we can substitute the limit, the value of x to say. So now substituting the value of x, we'll have 1 minus 3 over infinity plus 1 over infinity to the power of 3. And then 2 over divided by infinity all squared minus 3. Then minus 3. So now we'll need to find the final answer. So OPC will say 1. Therefore, 3 divided by, let's say, billion. It's approximately 0 if you remember. So it's minus 0. 1 over infinity to the power of 3. Approximately 0. All divided by 2 divided by infinity to the power of 2. It's 0, therefore minus 3. Therefore, the answer that you're left with is 1 over negative 3. So I hope you recall I said the answer that we'll get, it will be the coefficients of the highest power. I hope you see the 1 there, and minus 3. If the degree of exponent were the same in the denominator and numerator, then the answer will be the coefficient of the highest powers, which is 1 over negative 3. I hope you see that. So yeah, if let's say the degree of exponent is the same in the numerator and denominator, don't forget. That's how we do it. Okay, I want to go to the second condition. If you're done copying, if you're done copying.